So though March Madness is kicking off today, we're not stopping talking about college football over here. That train never stops, and today we need to turn our attention to the Oklahoma Sooners, because Oklahoma got another crystal ball inserted in their favor for one of the most coveted prospects in the class of 2024, a class where the Sooners don't have a commit in just yet, which begs the question, who will be the Sooners' first commit? We're going to unpack all of this, but before we can, as always, y'all know the drill, I have got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Do you believe once the Sooners get that first commitment, the class of 2024 will have the floodgates open? Let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification. I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below. Those interactions seem small, but they are massive, and we're on a push to 20,000 subscribers. I'd love to have you a part of this unbelievable community. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. And I want to start with the new crystal ball inserted in favor of the Oklahoma Sooners, and that's for one of the most coveted running backs in the nation, a top 300 prospect regardless of position, and a top 20 running back in the class of 2024. And of course, today we're talking about Duncanville's running back Caden Durham. Now, Caden Durham, as I just stated, plays for Duncanville High School in Texas, and that is one of the most gifted teams in terms of talent from top to bottom in all of high school football. Not only is it a loaded team, so you know he's practicing against other college football players on a week in, week out basis, the level of competition they face is as serious as it gets in high school football. So this is a battle-tested guy, not only from practice, but whenever the lights turn on and it's game time, he's battle-tested. Anytime you can get guys that come from institutions like that, like Duncanville, IMG, you know these guys have faced stellar competition in games and stellar competition in practice, and it gives you more faith that they're going to be able to more easily make that transition from the high school to college level. But this has got me thinking, because I started looking around and noticed that the Oklahoma Sooners have several crystal balls inserted in their favor for multiple prospects, Caden Durham just being the latest, but that class of 2024 doesn't have a commit in it just yet. And I was looking around and I saw some people expressing some worry that they hadn't yet received a commitment in the class of 2024, and I kind of wanted to unpack this. So we'll start there, because we lightly addressed this the other day whenever Kevin Sperry became the first commit in the 2025 class for the Sooners. Should OU fans be concerned that they do not yet have a commit in the class of 2024? And the answer is abundantly no. There is no reason for concern whatsoever. There is nothing but time and opportunity in front of the Oklahoma Sooners right now. In fact, when we look at it, no recruiting class has gotten super deep into the weeds just yet. They're all pretty much at a base level. And so because of that, you don't need to be worried at all if you're an Oklahoma fan. I think when you look, seeing what good positions you're in for some of the nation's top prospects is just as intriguing as if you had one or two commitments. What we can tell right now is that the Oklahoma Sooners are putting themselves in good positions with several of the nation's top prospects. I think one of the names that's going to resonate with Sooner fans the most is David Stone, just because that interior defensive line is one that Oklahoma is going to focus on massively. They're going to be putting the full court press on Stone, on Inwanari, you name it, they're going to be going after those interior defensive line guys. So whenever you look at this, being able to establish those relationships, that's going to be key. And that's exactly what Oklahoma is doing so successfully right now. But it begs the question, who could be the first commit in the class of 2024 for the Oklahoma Sooners? Something I'm really interested in hearing from all of you about, because there are several different ways we could break this down, and all of which are completely logical. Personally, I'm really watching those running backs, because this is the second crystal ball that Oklahoma has gotten in their favor for a top running back in the nation. We talked about the former Georgia Bulldogs commit who decommitted from Georgia after he visited Oklahoma, Mizell, who was just on the Indian Trab show last night. If you didn't get to check that out, be sure to go check that out. I'll have that link in the description so you can go from watching this video right into that one. Be sure to like and comment and subscribe over there as well. They do great stuff. I'm sure anybody subscribed over here, subscribed over there. I have no doubt. But because of who the running back coach is for the Oklahoma Sooners, DeMarco Murray, because they have two crystal balls inserted for top running backs, I think it's logical to say that could be the first domino to fall in the class of 2024. However, I need to look at a name like a Williams Nwaneri, a five-star defensive lineman, and I just got done saying that Oklahoma is going to be putting a full court press on all of these interior defensive line guys. So because of that, it is equally logical that Nwaneri could be the first domino to fall. Todd Bates really trying to sew up that interior defensive line recruiting, and he is a great recruiter. That's a name we have got to watch, but so too Bryant Wesco, a name we talked about a few weeks ago. Oklahoma brings in a new wide receiver coach who resonates with athletes in the state of Texas, and already they receive a crystal ball in their favor for a top wide receiver out the state of Texas, painting the picture that that's a relationship that is obviously very positive. So I wanted to have this conversation because it's an intriguing one to have. I wanted to ask all of you who you thought the first commit for Oklahoma's 2024 class would be, because it is such an intriguing conversation to have. Logically, you could give me several different names, and I'm sure they could all make sense in your reasoning, right? I picked the running backs because, one, there are two running backs that have been crystal balled to Oklahoma, and then I look at DeMarco Murray being the running back coach, a guy who put up monster numbers during his time at OU and then went on to play in the NFL, and we've talked about this several times. I find that to be incredibly compelling. The fact that he can enter a living room, look at these prospects, look at the prospects' parents, and say, I know exactly how you're feeling, because not long ago, I was you. I know what it takes to transition from the high school to the college level, and then I know what it takes to transition from the college to the NFL level. I've done it all, and now I've come back to coach at the institution I balled out at. That's a compelling factor. I've talked about several times, if Mark Ingram is interested in being Alabama's running back coach whenever he hangs up his cleats, I would be elated. I would be over the moon, because that's a guy that obviously fosters positive relationships. If you follow the NFL and are at all familiar with Mark Ingram, you've probably seen the videos where it just looks like guys on his team love him. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to automatically translate into being a great coach, but I think you all get the reasoning I'm laying down here. You have guys that are great at cultivating relationships, and in DeMarco Murray's case, a phenomenal coach. We know that to be true because he's done it for long enough now to where he absolutely deserves that recognition. So, I think this is an incredibly intriguing class to look at. Oklahoma is coming off of a top 5 class in the nation in 2023, a year where they had a losing record. The first losing record in a long time for Oklahoma fans. Several Oklahoma fans couldn't remember the last one they had. And yet, Brent Venables was able to recruit at this level. That's telling. And it makes me really intrigued as to what this 2024 class is going to look like. So when I see they don't yet have any tangible commits in the class yet, but have received several crystal balls, I don't think there's any reason to be concerned at all for Oklahoma fans. There's nothing but time and opportunity in front of you, and you're obviously putting yourselves in very good positions with several of these prospects because you're getting the crystal ball inserted in your favor. And it's not just coming from the Oklahoma beat writers. It's coming from people all over, and that's telling. This is something we have got to watch, but I can't wait to hear from all of you. First and foremost, let me know who you think the first domino to fall in the 2024 class for Oklahoma is and why. And then let me know whether you think once that first domino falls, the floodgates open. Can't wait to hear from you. Hop down to the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See ya.